Very good morning, swimming fans. Welcome here to the Brisbane Aquatic Centre. Day 3 heats coming up very shortly of our Hancock Prospecting Australian Swimming Trials. Kurt Hansen joined by James Magnuson. Maggie, another day of action. More spots on that team to the World Championships up for grabs. But firstly, before we look forward to today, last night, some fantastic swims and certainly highlighted by that men's 200 freestyle.
Yeah, the 200 freestyle was massive last night. We saw a pretty close race between Kyle Chalmers and Clyde Lewis. Kyle just pipped him on the wall. He seems to have that sixth sense just to know when to get on that wall. And then we saw a couple of squad mates in Maddie Go and Kia Melverton go head to head. And in the women's 100 back again, a couple of squad mates, MC Bomb and Minna Atherton go head to head. And a couple of underdogs got the win.
Yeah, what about that? Minna Atherton, 2 PBs in one day and books her ticket to Gwangju, and a great effort by her, Kaylee McEwen there. And MC Bomb missing in the 100, so a lot of pressure on that 200 backstroke for her later in the meet.
Yeah, Em gets another shot with the 200 backstroke. She may even have a shot at that 100 freestyle for the relay as well. But a huge night for Minna Atherton, her training partner. Did she know that was coming? Has she been beating her in training? We don't know from watching on, but it was a shock to all of us.
Yeah, it was a great swim by her, no doubt. What wasn't a shock was the performance of Mitch Larkin last night. World-class time, second quickest in the world this year, and not too far outside his own Commonwealth record in the 100 back.
Yeah, that'll probably go down as the second most dominant swim of the meet after Ariane's 400 freestyle. Comprehensive, skillful, led from the start, never looked in doubt. Looking forward to seeing him in the 200 backstroke later in the week and the medley as well. And
you touched on there, Goff and Melverton, the two from TSS, 1 and 2 there in that 1500 freestyle, both personal bests. And obviously Kia's had a fantastic meet with a 400 on night 1, and now Maddie on the team as well. Great for the girl from Coffs Harbour. Yeah, both girls going sub 16 minutes for the first time. So they're a real medal chance for the World Championships. That's an exciting event for us now, and somewhere we've probably had a bit of a gap the last couple of years, so it's one to look forward to. And now we turn our attention to today. It's short and sharp, this one. Only 3 events coming up this morning and tonight as well, but certainly highlighted by that women's 200 freestyle. Yeah, the women's 200 freestyle should be really interesting. Like the men's yesterday, there's no semi-finals. They've got to be fast this morning. We've got a stacked field, so it's going to be hard to make that final. Yeah, Ariane Titmus back in action. She broke the Commonwealth record in the 400 freestyle on night 1. Did the Commonwealth record at the Australian Champs 2 months ago on the 200 and the 400. And then you throw in Emma McKee in there as well, and they're all going to line up. Shayna Jack, the first we'll see of her at the competition as well. Yeah, it's going to be a stacked field, like we said. I expect Ariane and Emma to take it easy this morning. They've got that luxury of not having to go full pace. But tonight, that's going to be a real match race. Emma McKeon probably with the more speed in the first 100. Ariane with the fitness coming down from the 4. Yeah, you throw the rest in there as well. Michaela Sheridan, Bree Throstle's had a good meet as well after that runner-up on night 1. Maddie Wilson there too. And then we go to the men's 200 fly, and David Morgan's going to be tough to stop. He's been at the top of his game for a few years now in this event. Yeah, he'll be feeling confident in this one, I think. It's a strong field again, but probably the qualifying time is the one to watch in this one. It'd be great to get a couple of guys under that, but they'll have to be on their game if they're any shot. Yeah, the qualifying time's going to be a tough one for the rest of the lads. Nicholas Brown, Grant Irvine, Bowen Goff. They're good. If they're good enough, they'll get there, but they've really got to step it up another notch. Yeah, that's it. It's all about that qualifying time. They really need to be on their top of their game. They can't get too caught up in racing each other. They need to really put it out there and be swimming fast. And lastly, we've got 2 time finals of the 800 freestyle this morning, and then the big one tonight, the 3rd time final, and it's going to be a beauty, especially with Jack McLaughlin. Anytime he's hit the pool here over the last 2 days, he's been electrifying. Yeah, Jack McLaughlin, the one to watch in that 800 tonight. Behind him, Elijah Winnington and Mac Horton. Neither have secured their place definitely on the team yet, so they'll both have a point to prove. So they'll be pushing the pace as well tonight. Yeah, McLaughlin there took out the 400 on night 1. He was 4th in the 200 last night, and gee, that's going to be good for him towards the 800 and 1500. Yeah, he's having the meet of his life. He's swimming well. He looks great in the water. He'll be full of confidence, and then he's going to have the 1500 later in the week. He's doing kilometres of racing this week, but looking great doing so. Yeah, he's in the zone every time he hits the water. He looks fantastic, so can't wait to see him in action tonight as well. Well, don't go too far away. Great to have you with us if you're watching online, courtesy of Swimming Australia or the 7plus app, or you're here at the Brisbane Aquatic Centre as well. Our Day 3 heats action coming up in just a few moments' time. officials for this morning's session. And let's meet our team, our referees for this session. Referee for the men's events from Queensland, Alan Smith. Our referee for the women's events from Queensland, Sarah Emery. Our starters for this session, our starter for the men's events from Queensland, David Gregory. Our starter for the women's events from Queensland, Steve Carsley. And we'd like to welcome and thank our technical manager for this event from Western Australia, Kay Bolger. We now invite our technical officials to please take their seats. So just moments away from a start here on day 3 heats. Great to have you with us if you're watching online, courtesy of Swimming Australia or on that 7+ app. And as always, the fans in the stands, if you can't make it here to any of the sessions, just log on and follow the links and you won't miss any of the action. Make sure you get behind your favourite swimmers as well. You can tweet messages of support and share it across all socials, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, hashtag ready to race. And exciting times as well. Also today at the conclusion of our heat session, I Swim, Maggie's muscle build with James Magnuson, also recently retired. Now, Olympic silver medalist in the 100 freestyle from back in London, 2-time world champion. And straight after the heats today, you can have a free I Swim set with the missile as he takes you through a session that works on your technique and intensity, and it's free and open to all swimmers and abilities right here at the Brisbane Aquatic Centre at 11 a.m. All you have to do is bring your own swimmers. And let's get the action underway here on day 3 of our Hancock Prospecting Swimming Trials. And welcome to Pool Deck, the heats of the women's 200 metres freestyle. And there'll be 7 heats for this event. Behind the blocks, the swimmers in heat 1. Away we go, first event of the morning here on day 3. Said Maggie's super short program, just 3 events coming up, and let's touch on here this women's 200 freestyle, probably the one with the most depth out of all the events in the program. 7 heats, and plenty of girls want to step up and try and make that final. Yeah, we spoke a little bit about this yesterday. When you get a couple of swimmers that are really strong on an international stage in a given event, those young girls try to emulate their idols and try and do those same events. So with girls like Ariane Timmis and Emma McKeon at the top of their game,
it makes this a very popular event, and we're seeing that today with 7 heats of the women's 200 freestyle.
Yeah, so we'll see, especially in these first 3 or 4 heats coming up, because 7 in total, but most of these girls just really pushing to try and get towards that 2-minute mark. And they go through there. And Phoebe Hines, USC Spartans, just 20 years of age, out there in lane 6. And the oldest swimmer in the field, the youngest, is 15-year-old Jamie Kruger of Fairy Mead, out there in lane 3. And Maggie, you remember your first major open meet and how old you were and what the experience was like?
Yeah, my first open meet was when I was 16 years old. I went to the Beijing Olympic trials. I came 52nd in the men's 100 freestyle, so wasn't my most successful. I actually did a good time, but I was just that far off the pace. And then obviously 4 years later at the London 2012 trials, I was able to jump up 51 places, so that was a good 4 years.
Well, it's got to start somewhere. I guess that's the example. You just don't jump straight into the number 1 spot, and yeah, and the same with these girls pushing hard down this final lap. And Hines is going to come down 2:03.32. Just takes a few seconds off her seed time, and edges a little bit closer to that 2-minute mark. A nice job there by the ladies in the first heat, and the results there now being displayed. And Phoebe Hines and Alex Perkins, the 2 USC Spartans teammates, in first and second spot. And behind the blocks now we have the swimmers in Heat 2. Racing, and as always, swimmers' names, lane assignments can be found there on the left-hand side of the screen if you're watching on the live stream, or up there on the scoreboard here at the Brisbane Aquatic Centre. And 7 heats, and this is the second of 7. And again, with this 200 freestyle, we saw it in the men's last night. It's going to be super competitive just to make that final, and extra incentive when those relay spots are up for grabs.
Yeah, it's going to be another strong relay team as well, so the girls will be really motivated to try and make it through in this event. Sometimes we can take as many as 6 for a 4x200 relay team, so giving yourself a shot at that by getting in the final is really important. So a lot of these girls will be pushing hard this morning to make a final. Once you're in that final, who knows what can happen.
So good start out there in lane 2. Chelsea Gillette of Arackley, just under the minute mark. And so when you look at the field and someone like the quality of Ariane Titmus and Emma McKeon in there, you'd think 99 times out of 100 they're going to be in that 4x2 final, and I guess those other 2 spots are there to be filled. And they shuffled the deck a little bit over the last couple of years, haven't they? That hasn't really been a set 4.
Yeah, there's been a number of different swimmers fill those final 2 spots. We have a look through the program here. Leah Neal, Maddie Wilson, even Brianna Throssell over the years, Michaela Sheridan as well. There's a real variety of names that have filled that 3rd and 4th 4x2 spot over the past couple of seasons.
So all to race for, and you see the lead change here in these 200s. Pacing critical. You've got to make that last lap your best, and doing so looks like it will be Popham out there in lane 4 for Kiwana Waters. 2:04, 2:1. And we'll see the results there from that second heat of the women's 200 freestyle. Michaela Popham taking it out just ahead of Charlotte Mitchell of TSS. And behind the blocks now we have the swimmers in Heat 3. Third heat of this women's 200 free away. And obviously they're going to get quicker as they go and start to get down to the pointy end very shortly. Just those 8 spots up for grabs. And Maggie, always exciting here when you said you've got that probably 2 or 3 swimmers that'll really have a nice cruisy morning, you'd think, and qualify, but then you've got the next 10 that really have to give it everything they've got to try and secure a spot in the final tonight.
Yeah, when we look through the program here, we've got a potential probably 15, 20 swimmers that could make this final on their day. Obviously 15 doesn't go into 8, so they're going to have to be quick this morning, and I think we'll see a lot of sub 2-minute swims. It could take anywhere as quick as 1:57 high, 1:58 low to make this final tonight.
Yeah, Bethan Mountford, the South Australian, going through in front there. The 18-year-old from the Marion Club in lane 5. Only just, got plenty of company. And again, these girls all pushing towards that 2-minute mark, and it's a big mark in the 200 freestyle, isn't it? There's definitely a distinct group of 2, those that can go under 2 minutes and those that can't.
Yeah, it's a big mark, and like a lot of those, I guess, marks in swimming, they're pretty hard to dip under. I remember as a young tacker trying to drop under that 2-minute mark for the 200 free and the 1-minute mark for the 100 freestyle. And for these girls, it's a huge achievement if they can drop under that 2-minute mark. It really sets them apart from a lot of those age group and development swimmers.
So down the final lap now. And Prue Davies finishing strong there for Palm Beach Currumbin in lane 6. And obviously a fantastic surf swimmer, Australian Surf Race champ and part of the Australian Surf Life Saving team as well. So a good hit out there just outside that 2-minute mark. And results there for that third heat of the women's 200 freestyle being displayed. Davies takes it out. And behind the blocks now, the swimmers in heat 4. So away here in heat 4, and yeah, he has you spotted Kaylee McEwen out there in lane 6, Karina Lee in lane 5, and both these girls already on the World Championship team. Lee through the open water and McEwen through 2 brilliant swims over the first 2 days of competition. Fantastic time in that 200 IM, and then last night runner-up behind Minna Atherton in the 100 backstroke.
Yeah, big week already for Kaylee. She's still got the 200 backstroke to come as well. Obviously, she's done a really good training block for this and is very confident in endurance to be able to diversify and do the 200 freestyle as well. Not known for her freestyle, to me anyway, but she's looking pretty good down this first 100 of the 2.
Yeah, good start from Michaela Messer as well, the 19-year-old from Nudgee College there in lane 2. She'll go through 59.38. Instead of McEwen, 59.81, and then back to Lee, 100.04. Yeah, 200 freestyle, 200 IM. It kind of cuts through there as well, and it's only going to make her 200 medley better as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It will definitely strengthen her 200 medley. Backstroke, obviously, her preferred stroke, but this freestyle looks strong as well. So, yeah, definitely bodes well for her medley, and it's good for her preparation to get some good tough racing in at a meet like this against good competition leading into the World Championships in 5 or 6 weeks' time.
So pushing down this 4th and final lap, and it is a battle in 2. Messer and McEwen in lanes 2 and 6. In lanes, Seibenhausen and Lee trying to make a late challenge. I think it's going to be between McEwen and Messer. Maybe McEwen gets it. And she does, 2:00.96. Just outside that 2-minute mark. Kaylee McEwen. Strong swim by her in the heats this morning and continues her good form.
Yeah, that's a strong swim. It's quicker than her qualifying time. Probably won't be quick enough to make the final, but strong swim. She'll move on now to the 200 backstroke.
So results there from that Heat 4, the women's 200 freestyle. McEwen takes it out, and we turn our attention here on the blocks. Competitors in Heat 5. So things start to get serious now into our final 3 heats, and this is where our qualifiers are going to come from. Maggie, and you saw her in the white suit there in lane 4, Shayna Jack, obviously a sprint freestyler and been a big part of that 4x1, and obviously loves the 50 and the 100, and trying to work her way, a bit like Kyle Chalmers, up the ladder to the 200 as well.
Yeah, I'd say being that she's at St. Peter's Western now, she's probably doing a few more kilometres than she has in the past, which will probably help her push up to that 200 freestyle. You know it means business in the morning when you're wearing a white suit. That stands out, as we see in lane 4. Shayna, as expected, leads out this first 100. Let's see what her endurance is like and what sort of work she's done. That'll become very evident in this second 100 here of the 2.
Yeah, Jack goes through. That's a pretty quick first 100 for the morning, 57.10. So definitely means business. First hit out here in Brisbane. Obviously the hometown girl. Carla Buchanan, not too far away for Acacia Bayside. They're in lane 6. But also pushing on the inside of her, Michaela Sheridan. USC Spartans, and Elise Woods from the Melbourne Vic Centre in lane 3. She's
actually pulling away here, Shayna, on the third 50. She comes out of this turn, still looks like she's got a bit of energy in the tank. It's going to be an impressive morning swim.
Well, I think just visually, like you said, suited up and ready to race, and came in with the tactic to have a big go, and has cleared away and trying to hang on now. But look at this battle for second, and this is where it's going to be tight to qualify with 2 more heats to come.
Yeah, this is important. With 2 heats to come, you want to be second on the wall here in this heat. So these girls won't want to give in that second place. As Shayna comes down to the wall now. Strong morning swim, 157.
Great morning swim. Shayna Jack, 157.50.
That's one of the things with being in the first of the seeded heats. You can't leave anything to chance. You do need to put in a strong performance, and that ensures now that Shayna will be through to the final.
And probably suck the other swimmers along a little bit as well, but that's the results from the last heat before that. So for those online on the stream, we apologise. We'll see if we can get a review and results of last one. It was Shayna Jack that took it out in that 157.50. And behind the blocks now, as we see the Michaela Sheridan at 159.42, Carla Buchanan 159.91. And behind the blocks, we have the swimmers in Heat 6. So Heat 6, just 1 heat to come after this one. And they're both stacked, that's for sure. And obviously, you look at the lineup here. Emma McKeon, good start to her meet. On night 1, that 100 fly was a strong swim, and really enjoying the fact that she only has to do 1 swim per day, rather than multiple events, and that's certainly going to help her and probably see her get some good quick times as well.
Yeah, I think not having those semi-finals will definitely help her racing this week. Once you add in those semi-finals of all her events, it becomes a massive program. She looks pretty fresh here in this first 100. She obviously had a pretty strong performance in the 100 butterfly on night 1. I don't think she was completely happy with it. She looked a little better in the heats, but she'll be looking to redeem herself here in this 200 free, and it'll be a great match race tonight between her and Ariane as we see a quick first 100 from Emma as expected.
Yeah, 55.97. That is a speedy first 100 for her, and really looking the goods at the moment, and flanked on either side by Leah Neal in 3 and Bree Throssell in 5. And Throssell was runner-up behind McKean in the 100 fly, booked a spot on the team on night 1 as well. So great opportunity for her to, I guess, get a free hit and try and really push for a spot in that 4x2.
Yeah, she'd be really keen for a spot in that 4x2. Like we said, it's a red-hot medal chance at the World Champs, so you want to be a part of it. Expect her to finish pretty strongly here, coming from that background of 200 butterfly as well. But Emma looks great in this morning swim, very comfortable through the last lap. As we see her kick, she's not pushing it too hard, probably leaving a bit in the tank. And it looks like a strong morning swim from Emma. We're going to see another 156. That's a good swim.
Yeah, brilliant swim there from McKean. Super controlled, and to go sub 157 and look that smooth, probably a testament to her class, that's for sure. So great effort by her and Bree Throssell and Leah Neal right there as well. Looks like those times will book them a spot in the final. So McKean takes it out, 156.76, and Throssell and Neal also will be right there tonight, you'd think. And behind the blocks now, we have the swimmers in the 7th and final heat of this women's 200 metres freestyle. So this is it, last heat, last chance to qualify. And spots are going to be up for grabs. It's going to be super tight. We've got six girls under 2 minutes so far, Maggie. And so you think with Titmus in this, you're going to have to go sub 2 minutes to get in that final.
Yeah, absolutely. You probably want to be 158 to be safe. We'll see. This should be the quickest heat of the morning. We'll just see how Ariane and Maddie Wilson take this out. Emma obviously was very quick through the first 100 of her heat, which probably dragged everyone along a little bit. Expect Ariane, though, to probably finish stronger through that back 100. There's Maddie Wilson sitting right with her here, positioning herself nicely. She won't want to let Ariane get away this first 100.
Yeah, been a great year so far from Arnie, and really just picked up where she left off last year. And obviously Commonwealth records in the 200, 400 at the Australian Champs 2 months ago, and then busted out that 400 on night 1. She wasn't happy with it, but still a lifetime best.
Yeah, and she looked really good in the first 200 of that 400 on the first night, so she'll be feeling confident going into this one. And then, of course, we've got a training partner in Abby Harkin sitting off a hip there as well. It could be Maddie Wilson that might lead us through this first 150. So she's putting in a really strong morning swim. This is a big shot for her to make the team as well.
Yeah, Maddie Wilson, we've just seen her on pull deck. Looked like she's been doing a lot of dry land work. Very strong, very powerful, and obviously, putting in the hard yards there in Marion down in South Australia for a couple of seasons now.
And yeah, she's going to push Ariane right down to the finish here. We'll see how badly Ariane wants that lane 4 for tonight, whether she kicks this last 15 or not.
So Wilson looking good in the pink cap. Titmus trying to fight back. It'll be on the wall to see who gets it. And it will be Titmus just at 158.26, so a little slower than the last few heats, but that'll be enough to get them through. Maddie Wilson as well, 158.36. And then the rest, well, it's going to have to hold your breath.
Yeah, like we said might happen in that second last seeded heat. Emma went out really fast in the first 100 and dragged the rest of the girls with her. In that final seeded heat, the girls were out a little slower and probably led to slightly slower times throughout the heat. So we'll have to wait and see who makes that final now.
Yeah, we'll just await that result summary. It's going to be a cracking final on tonight's program. Like I said, not just individual spots up for grabs, but also those relay spots. And certainly looking forward to it. And all the big names will be there.
Yeah, if you had to say, you'd probably say that Emma McKean made the statement this morning in that race. Strong heat swim.
Yeah, Shayna Jack as well definitely went out and really blew the cobwebs out, literally. She went for it, and here we go, the result summary. So McKean leads the way at that 156.7. Shayna Jack right there. Bree Throssell, Leah Neal, Ariane Titmus, Maddie Wilson, and Michaela Sheridan. Carla Buchanan. And wow, all under that 2-minute mark, and it's probably everything that you expected it to be. All the names are there, and it's going to be a cracking final tonight, probably the highlight of day 3.
Yeah, all the big names there. They've all made it through. They've all dodged a bullet there. Take your pick, really. Shayna was really impressive this morning. Emma, great time from Bree Throssell. Ariane Titmus and Maddie Wilson are going to be in more outside lanes.
2 and 7. So.
Yeah. So it'll be tough for Emma to see those guys. So it's going to be an interesting race tonight, similar to the men's, I think, across the pool, very tight.
Yeah, can't wait. So lock that one in for the finals program this evening. That women's 200 freestyle is going to be a beauty. Now we move along in the program. Please make welcome to pool deck. It's the heats of the men's 200 metres butterfly. There'll be 2 heats for this event. Behind the blocks, swimmers in heat 1. Yes, just the 2 heats of the men's 200 fly. Top 8 quickest across the 2. They go through and see just that absent lane there in lane 6. Elijah Winnington, I guess, throwing all his eggs into that basket tonight. Maggie for the 800.
Yeah, his last shot at qualifying for the team tonight in the 800. So good decision to rest up and not do the 200 fly. That will take a lot of energy out of you.
And yeah, the boys here were probably highlighted by the UWA West Coast teammates. Grant Irvine in 5 and Nicholas Brown in 4. And really qualifying for that final tonight shouldn't be too tough, but getting that qualifying time is where it's going to be at for them.
Yeah, the qualifying time's the mark to watch. All those boys will have that in the back of their mind. I'm sure the last time I spoke to Grant Irvine, he told me he'd retired from the 200 butterfly, so somebody's obviously coaxed him back into it. At his age, I thought he'd be ready just to rest in that 100 butterfly, but good to see him out there. He's keeping at it. Strong swim too here.
Yeah, you don't do the 200 fly if you haven't done the work, so it looks like he's been putting in the hard yards, that's for sure, and there's definitely a spot there. Probably behind David Morgan, it's up for grabs, and like I said, if you can get that time and really press towards that 155 mark, then you're going to make some national teams. That's how it rolls. And coming into this 4th and final lap, it is the 2 boys from the west starting to skip away. Brown in 4, 23-year-old, and obviously, like Maggie said, Grant Irvine in 5. 28 years of age, and come down and qualify comfortably. And they do so. Not a bad heat swim either for both of them. 157.5.
Yeah, good heat swim from the boys there. No such thing as an easy swim in the 200 butterfly, so that would have hurt, no doubt, but hopefully they get a good rest today. Come back a bit faster tonight and push for that sub 155.5. Grant looks surprisingly happy after a 200 butterfly. That is very rare.
Yeah, it's, like I said, the results there, and the 2 boys from UWA West Coast, Irvine and Brown, just 6/100 separating them, and they'll be pretty happy with a 157. And behind the blocks now, we have the swimmers in the 2nd and final heat of this men's 200 butterfly. last heat, last chance to crack it into the final tonight, and plenty of spots available. Really only Brown and Irvine, the only two really locked away at the moment. So big chance for some of these outsiders to sneak in, Maggie, and no doubt David Morgan is going to be a short price favourite coming into this one.
Yeah, he will be, but don't count Nick Brown and Grant Irvine out yet. They looked pretty good this morning. The big thing again for all these guys, like we keep stressing, that 1:55.5 qualifying time. That is a tough time and quicker than the entry time of anyone in the field. So that's really the mark that we're going to keep an eye on throughout today and tonight. As we see Dave Morgan coming out strongly this first 100 metres. Again, like you said earlier, you can't dodge the work in this event, so we'll see where his training's at by this second 100.
Yeah, some great shots there, and I guess one thing that's sometimes underestimated with Morgan swimming is just his skills, especially his turns and those underwaters. He's one of the best in the business, especially in Australia at it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got great underwaters. It's an event that demands it. If you look at the guys who've been at the top of the 200 fly, Michael Phelps, underwater, awesome. Chad Leclos, underwater, awesome. If you can use that 15 metres as both a recovery and a chance to accelerate past the rest of the field, you put yourself in really good stead. As we see Dave Morgan pulled away from the field a bit at the air on that last turn. Let's see how hard he pushes it towards the wall now.
Yeah, so Morgan just leads it. Bowen Goff having a good race, the 21-year-old from Nunawading. So just outside of him in lane 5. And these three boys, obviously Matthew Temple as well, Nunawading clubmate right there as well. But it'll be Morgan that takes out this second and final heat, a little slower than the first, 1:58.55, but that'll see them through to the final tonight, along with the Nunawading pair of Bowen Goff and Matthew Temple.
Yeah, after seeing the boys in that first heat, there was definitely no need to push the pace too fast there for Dave Morgan. Looks like he's still got a bit left in the tank, so it should be an interesting race tonight. Probably got 3 guys that have stood apart this morning.
Yeah, certainly no real surprises in that men's 200 fly as you'd expect, as that results there from that second and final heat. We'll get that result summary shortly for those on the stream as well. Grant Irvine and Nicholas Brown will lead the way from the middle lanes tonight, and there it is on the board now. And there we go, men's 200 fly. Should be a good one. Irvine, Brown, Morgan, Goff, Temple. Charles Cox in there, Edward Marks and Lucas Humanuik. The local boy just sneaks in, and like you said, all eyes on that 1:55.5.
Yeah, that's the time tonight, 1:55.5. Really, we'll probably see at best one swimmer under that, so someone's going to have to stand apart from the rest of the field tonight and really put it out there if they want to qualify for this World Championships team.
So don't go too far away. Just one more race coming up this morning to finish us off from our heats program, and they're ready to go now. So welcome to Pool Deck. It's time final number 1 for the men's 800 metres freestyle. we go. Just the one-time final in this 800 freestyle this morning. The second-time final, Maggie, will be raced tonight. 16 laps of the pool, and it's the big news here from Brisbane that Elijah Winnington has pulled out of this 800 freestyle. So, yeah, he's done for the meet, and he's going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, tough week for Elijah. It's probably the first big meet that he's come to with a bit of pressure and expectation on him. He had a huge meet in Adelaide at the Australian Championship, so he would have come here expecting to qualify for that Australian team. Just changes the ball game a bit. When you come in with pressure and expectation rather than the young guy under the radar, just changes your mindset a bit, makes you a little more tense, and he will have learned a big lesson this week. And look, from my perspective, it's better to learn that lesson this week before the World Championships rather than next year going into the Olympic Games. I'm sure he'll come back more focused and better prepared next year as a result of this week's racing.
Yeah, certainly make a good point. If you're going to miss, you definitely want to miss in 2019 and not 2020. And if you can use this as a learning experience and come back bigger and better in that Olympic year, then it's going to be definitely worth it. We turn here to this first time final for these boys. Plenty of teenagers in there. The youngest, a couple of 15-year-olds. George Williamson in 7 and Jackson Clark in lane 8. And Connor Daff there, the local boy from Chandler, just 16 years of age as well. So some good experience for some of these kids to get stuck in here and try and lower their personal best. Yeah,
great experience, and it's good that we've been able to fit them all in one heat, so we don't have any guys flying solo in that first heat. Hopefully they can push each other along here, stay on a good pace and get the best out of each other, try and bump themselves up those Australian rankings, and then look at getting some QTs for the Olympic trials next year.
There's always something to aim for, that's for sure, in the two middle lanes. Matthew Robinson of Kiwana Waters there in 5. Tristan Bullen of Bond, the 18-year-old from the Gold Coast, in 4. Skipping away a little bit on the field, and this is the first of 2-time finals. The second time final will be on tonight, and we said Winnington out of it, but it's going to be an interesting battle. Jack McLaughlin is in there in lane 4, and right alongside him continues his little battle against Matt Horton.
Yeah, it's been one to watch this week, that battle between Jack McLaughlin and Matt Horton. Obviously, that's been going on for about 18 months now, and it's good for those guys. It'll push them along in their training and their preparation to race better, to race faster, and to have more of a focus on these meets here in Australia. You never want to lose to your arch nemesis, and that's what it's becoming for those two, I think. So they'll push each other along tonight in that 800. For me, tough to see Jack McLaughlin getting beat in that one. His stroke at the moment is looking immaculate, the best I've seen it. So, you know, he'll be looking to post a quick time tonight.
Well, interesting thing as well that he'll be in that prime spot for the 4x2 freestyle relay now as well after finishing 4th in that last night, and all of a sudden his program is going to be solid. Yeah,
his program's huge, particularly if he does that 1500 freestyle as well. You're looking at 3 kilometres of racing for that, another 1.6 kilometres of racing through that 800 free, another 800 by the 2 400 frees. Huge week. So that's something that he'll have to sit down and talk to his coach about and Jaco and see how they manage that program. You know, you probably don't want him swimming a heat of the 4x200 freestyle relay if possible. But yeah, huge week. I can't even imagine the sort of preparation he'll have to be fit enough to handle a week that looks like that.
But great problem to have, certainly, and exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, a great problem to have, particularly for a distance freestyler. As a sprinter, that is my worst nightmare.
Well, he's done the work, looking forward to that tonight, but the boys here now trying to really get stuck into their work. Matthew Robinson and going strong. Past the halfway mark. 4:39.49. Bullen there alongside him, 4:45.2. And back to Hayden Cotter from Launton there in lane 6, just 18 years of age as well. Plenty of teenagers in the field.
Yeah, great experience for these young guys. as a teenager coming through, getting an opportunity to swim at a World Championship trials like this is always a good thing. It's a learning curve. There'll be a few butterflies out there for these guys this morning, so a great experience as we see who can make the most of their opportunity and break away from the field a little bit, throw their name into the bag for tonight, see if they can knock off any of the guys in tonight's fastest heat.
Yeah, really started to spread out now as coming down in the final few 100 metres. Time final one of the 800 freestyle. And don't forget that second and last time final will be on tonight's super short and sharp program, that's for sure. Women's 200 freestyle, the men's 200 fly, and we'll have that second time final, the men's 800 freestyle here from the Brisbane Aquatic Centre from 6 p.m. Of course, if you can't make it out here to the pool, make sure you get online. See if Swimming Australia, the 7+ app, and hook on the live stream. It's been plenty of great feedback from throughout Australia and the world, and said to Gian last night as well, Maggie, that plenty of people watching in internationally, obviously with just the World Championships just 5 weeks away, and super keen to see what the Aussies can throw up.
Yeah, the rest of the world is always really interested in what we're doing down here. Obviously, we're a force to be reckoned with in the swimming world, so they'll want to see where everybody's at, what they're competing with next week, in a few weeks' time, sorry. A lot of the coaches will be keeping an eye on the results as well to see how their swimmers are faring. There'll definitely be a few results that'll be raising some eyebrows up in the Northern Hemisphere.
Well, they love it too. Plenty of racing in the US going on at the moment as well. And we're looking at them, they're looking at us. And
yeah, a bit of cat and mouse going on when you've got people like Ariane swimming fast here in Australia at the same time, Katie Ledecky swimming fast up in America. They're inevitably going to meet in that final at the World Championships, so it's all about confidence.
Well, confidence here for these boys. They're really going to lift now. The bell has rung and means into this final 100 metres. And Matthew Robinson leads the way, 22-year-old from Kiwana Waters, and really coming home strongly too. Hayden Cotter, the 18-year-old out in lane 6. He's really feeling it. What can he mount in this final 50? You reckon he's a chance here?
Yeah, he's a chance. You see the boys now, they bring that stroke rate up. Looks almost like 100 freestyle this last 50. The kick rate comes up. This is all guts, this last 50 metres. They'll be stinging here. The piano have dropped. It's all about heart. As they come down to the wall now, we've got a match race here between first and second.
Yeah, Robinson, at least he's breathing to that right-hand side, so I think he's got him covered, but Cotter giving it everything he can, but it will be Matthew Robinson here from Kiwana Waters. It takes out this first time final, 8:18.62. Hayden Cotter from Launton there, the 18-year-old, 8:19.45. And Tristan Bullen from the Bond Club, 8:22.80. So a good effort by those boys there in that first time final. And we'll get the results of that one up very shortly. And there we go, time final number 1. Matthew Robinson of Kiwana Waters takes it out, 8:18.62. And well, firstly, for all those online, we hope you enjoyed the coverage this morning. As I said, short and sharp heats program, and hope you'll join us again for the finals program tonight, that women's 200 freestyle, men's 200 fly, and that second and exciting time final, the men's 800 freestyle, set to commence here from the Brisbane Aquatic Centre at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And on behalf of Swimming Australia, we thank everyone here for your attendance in the stands. We also thank our technical officials for their efforts throughout the morning program, and we now invite them to leave from pool deck. And a big reminder, don't forget iSwim Maggie's Muscle Build with James Magnuson today in just under 20 minutes time at 11 a.m. Come and have a free iSwim set with James as he takes you through a session to work on technique and intensity, and it's free and open to swimmers of all abilities. right here at 11 a.m. in the competition pool. Just bring your swimmers and goggles.